And I think they should be persecuted relentlessly for what they're doing, because loss of property is one of the laws we support in our democracy. It doesn't matter what party you're on. And I thought, most people would look at that and say, I'm not okay with it. Democrats own these cars, Republicans own these cars. These are criminals. They should go to jail, number one.
Welcome back to the Kyle McCullers Show. I'm your host, Kyle McCullers, and we've got a stacked episode for you today. Some big news, some crazy developments, and a personal story I think will hit home for a lot of you. First up, at Donald Trump and the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who just unveiled the next generation fighter jet, the F-47, which is a shout out, of course, to President Trump. And it's got everybody talking. And what makes this plane so special, and what it does for America, and how important it is to be on the leading edge of technology, especially with defense and warfare. We're going to be diving into that this morning. Up next, we have domestic terrorists that have been arrested for attacking Tesla dealerships and private property. It's been going viral all over X, all over the internet, and we want to know who these people are, what's driving them, and what's the fallout. And I've got some details I want to share. And finally, I'm going to open up about something personal to me, about how working out every day has pulled me out of depression. And if you've ever felt stuck in a place, this one's for you. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's dive in. All right, let's kick some things off with some serious firepower, literally. On March 21st, 2025, President Trump stood alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in the Oval Office to unveil the F-47, America's first sixth-generation fighter. And let me tell you, the thing sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. All right? The F-47 is being built by Boeing after a fierce competition with Lockheed Martin. Trump called it the most advanced, most capable, and most lethal aircraft ever built. Pete Hegseth echoed that sentiment. It's got stealth tech so good it's virtually unseeable. It's a top speed over Mach 2 and a payload that is unmatched. Trump mentioned that it actually flies with drones, and he says as many as they want. So it basically has drones that sync around it. And get this, it's been secretly flying tests for almost 5 years. So it's been in development for quite some time. Trump was hyped about it, saying nothing in the world comes close to it. The name F-47, of course, is a nod to him as the 47th president. Hegseth chimed in, calling it a big day for war fighters, and just a message to allies and enemies alike that America's here to dominate the sky. So what does this matter? I want you to be thinking about that, but take a look at the clip.
And they love him, but we've had record numbers of people wanting to join our military. Now, if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. You had record numbers of people not wanting to join the military. Now you have record numbers of people wanting to be in our military. And that's a great honor. That shows you we're really on the right track. So, Pete, maybe you'd say a few words.
Sure.
Please.
Well, Mr. President, this is a big day. This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have generations in the future of air dominance because of this sixth generation fighter. We've had the F-15, we have had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47, which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids. This is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside our military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not do, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program and were prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it and we're doing it. And then we are also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools. Not anymore. President Trump has reestablished American leadership. The F-47 is part of it. And Mr. President, thank you for having the courage to do it and leading the way for all our warfighters.
Thank you very much, Pete. One of the things I will say, but the generals are going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want, and it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want, and that's something that no other plane can do. So I'd like to introduce, if I might, Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, and also General Dale White, two incredible people that I've known over the years, but I got to know them really well over the last few months. And would you say a few words, please, General?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your unwavering commitment to our military. I will say this is a big day. This is a big day for our United States Air Force as well. You know, air dominance is not a birthright, but it's become synonymous with American air power. But air dominance needs to be earned every single day. And since the earliest days of aerial warfare, brave American airmen have jumped into their machines, taken to the air, and they've cleared the skies. And whether that be clearing the skies so we can rain down destruction on our enemies from above, or we can clear the path to the ground forces below. That's been our commitment to the fight, and that's really been our promise to America. And with this F-47 as the crown jewel in the next generation air dominance family of systems, we're going to be able to keep that promise well into the future. I also want to thank everyone from industry and within government, our engineers, who have worked tirelessly on this program to bring it where we are right now today. This shows that American talent, American skill, and American determination are second to none, because this platform is second to none. So we believe that this provides more lethality, it provides more capability, more modernized capability in a way that is built to adapt. This, along with our collaborative combat aircraft the President talked about with drones, this is allowing us to look into the future and unlock the magic that is human-machine teaming. And as we do that, we're going to write the next generation of modern aerial warfare with this. This enables us to do this. The manner in which we put this program together puts more control in the hands of the government, so we can update and adapt at the speed of relevance, at the speed of technology, not at the speed of bureaucracy. This is more Air Force. This is more options for the President. We say as our mission in the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win air power anytime, anywhere. If you want to go anywhere, you have to have a platform that gets you anywhere. This provides the President options from the very one end, which is a quick response, and then we can get right back into fight and stance without having to deploy troops that are going to take maybe months and cost more lives. We can be back in fight and stance, and maybe we restore that deterrence. All the way to decisive victory as part of a joint force that is the most lethal and capable military ever known in history. That's what we provide now, and this allows us to provide it into the future. It's more deterrence, more capability. It's what peace through strength looks like into the future, Mr. President. And so we're very proud to do that. And all we can say is, on behalf of the United States Air Force, let's deliver.
Thank you very much. Thank you, General.
So this jet is part of the Next Generation Air Dominance Program. Think of it as the future of air combat. It's designed to work with drones, outmaneuver anything out there, keep the U.S. ahead of rivals like China and Russia. But it's not just about the tech, right? It's about confidence. It's about dominance. Trump is pushing an America First agenda, and this jet absolutely screams F-A-F-O. And that's really what Trump brings to America, and what he has brought to America every time he's been in office and whenever he's here running the show. But what do you think about this game-changing technology in this air fighter? What do you think about this for our military? Do you think it's going to be what they say it is, or do you think it's just going to be a shiny new toy that we've wasted money about? Why don't you Drop a comment and tell me what you think. Now let's shift gears to something wild going down all over the place here at home. Over the past few weeks, federal authorities have arrested some people, we're calling them domestic terrorists because they are linked to attacks against an American company on American soil. It is coordinated. They are firebombing. They are destroying property. This is what domestic terrorism is, guys. Okay? If you are intentionally targeting a company based on some political or ideology, that's terrorism, and they are going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Tesla dealerships and private property across multiple states are targeted. They're part of extremist groups. There's one in California, one in Texas. People are keying and smashing. And let's think about this, guys. Okay. Why are people doing this? Well, we're protesting Tesla. We're protesting Elon. This is how unbelievably lost people are on the left. Okay, you will shout to the rooftops about how the environment is going to be destroyed or how the world's going to be destroyed in 2012. They make a movie about it. It doesn't happen, of course, because it's crack baloney. And then you have Greta Thunberg going around the world talking about how the climate. Then you have Elon Musk, okay, the co-creator of PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, X. He creates the first electric vehicle, which everyone on the left bought to virtue signal how much they care about the environment. But this is how much it shows that they're not real people. Because politically, when it doesn't suit them, they don't only throw away the Tesla, they call for violence against Tesla. And they go and buy gas cars. So let me get this straight. This isn't a cult. This isn't cult-like behavior. This isn't when a member leaves and then you tell everyone else they can't talk to them. As a matter of fact, attack them and harass them. That's what this is about. And what is Elon Musk doing? What has he been doing? What's his job right now for the government? What has Elon Musk been doing for the government? DOGE, D-O-G-E, Department of Government Efficiency. He's been combing through the books, finding all the dirty secrets, all the dirty laundry. That is what's going on. He's following the money. And they're terrified that the American people, that we will find out where it leads. He's talked about it multiple times on the news about fearing people wanting to kill him for what he's doing. These attacks are coordinated. They are being paid for 100%. They're tanking the stock on purpose. They're trying to hurt him where they feel like he can be vulnerable, which are his businesses. The things out there they can touch. Because they can't beat them politically. And them, I mean the Trump administration. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to attack any way they can. And the left is dirty. They fight dirty. They always have. They always will. Because they can't win the ideological front. They will never win that because human beings will never agree to live in their utopia, which gives them godlike power. Right? That's oppression. That's suppression. And America is about freedom and liberty and the right to pursue without anyone else holding you down. And that's not what the left wants. The left wants to control you. If you don't think like them, if you don't believe like them, if you don't espouse what they espouse exactly how they want you to, you're anathema. You're cut off. And then not only are you cut off, we're going to destroy you because nothing can exist in their worldview. There's no room for other people to exist. You have to do that. And we're not there anymore. We're not going back to that. We're over that. So the only thing they can do is throw a temper tantrum. The only thing they can do is lie. The only thing they can do is attack and destroy. Because that's all they got. They will never win an argument. They will never win a debate why you should live the way they say you should live, because we know it's wrong and it's evil. And it goes against everything in our being, which is why the whole juxtaposition of Trump's administration and Trump's party, I say Trump's party because it's Republican GOP, but it's transformed now. But this is now the party of common sense. It's the common sense party. It's not the Tea Party. It's the common sense party. We all agree. We all, like the majority of people agree and understand. This is how things are. This is how things always have been. For instance, there are men, there are women. There's no 100 different genders. There's just two sexes, two genders. That's it. And women or men should not be in women's sports. Biological males should never be in biological female sports. And the reason we have to say biological is because we've been under this warped reality in a spell, and it made people forget their common sense and truth. And so I'm happy that we're back. But Elon Musk rescued astronauts. If it wasn't for him, those astronauts would most likely be dead. Elon Musk is our Henry Ford of our time. And honestly, I think history will remember him as greater than. He might go down in history as one of the most, he will go down in history as the most influential human being of the century. Definitely of our generation, our lifetime, for sure. And he doesn't care about that. I think that's what's so great about Elon is someone that you can relate to, that can hold a conversation. He has a work ethic that is built from, like, if you were creating a character, you'd give him all 10s in his attributes, and that's what it would be for his drive, determination, willpower, focus, and just follow execution. I think Kevin O'Leary said it, I think on CNN. He was just saying, there is nobody on earth that can execute better than Elon Musk, and it's true. Elon would tell you that's not true. He would say that no one can outwork him and outlast him because he won't give up. And I think that's the success of Elon Musk. Elon Musk's success isn't that he was a great executor, because he did fail a lot, especially with SpaceX. And I watched that interview and I heard him say that. But he learned, and he never quit, and he kept getting better and getting better. And even when he was talking to, I think, Hannity, he was talking to Sean Hannity about SpaceX and how they failed, I think, don't quote me, I think it was 7 times. It was a bunch of times. I think it was definitely more than 4 or 5. But he just said, like, the last rocket that succeeded, the last one succeeded, and if it didn't succeed, SpaceX would have been a failure. It would have gone bankrupt. So the fact that rocket went in and now it became what it is, they've just did it so many times, failed so many times until they got it right, and then they just perfect what they get right. That's what makes him great. Where people would quit, where people would just give up, he doesn't. He kept going. He kept getting better. That's the type of person that we all admire, that we all look up to. The only reason these people are saying the things they're saying on the news is for politics, for political clout, and to keep their political position and their job. But when they walk off that stage at night, they go back to their Tesla. They don't get the robot. Right? They're going to use X. And I think the great thing too, the last thing I'll say about this is that it's so great that Elon has Trump. Because if anybody understands the toll that it takes on a person, it's Donald Trump for going through the fire, the political fire of the left, which is insanity. Trump has been doing it for almost a decade now. Well, over a decade, I think, right? It's been going on a decade. Let's just say a decade. And Elon's just getting started. And when you see the culmination of that end with a bullet to the head, which barely missed him, and you know it's divine intervention, and that inspires someone like Elon Musk to throw his hat in the ring, and now you're walking that path, now it becomes real. Now it's you in the line of fire. And he's doing this not to get government contracts, not to get richer. He's doing it for his country that he loves. So what? He was born in South Africa. He is an American citizen. He has embraced American culture. He has become an American, and all of his companies are in America. He is an American citizen and the greatest entrepreneur of our generation. And he wants to keep freedom of speech, and he wants to keep the core values of this country, which was low to no bureaucracy and low government. That's what this country was made of. And the political and lobbyist classes are doing everything they can to destroy him because they are threatened and their power is threatened. And we as the American people should not want that happening to him. Elon Musk is too valuable, not just as a government efficiency person, but as a human being on this planet for the rest of the human beings on this planet. There is not one person on this planet like him who has done the things he has done, who is doing the things he is doing. Do you understand that? Not one person before him. Now, there may be people after him, but they're going to build on top of his work. He is a one of one, a true one of one. And to throw that away because you're not politically getting what you want, insanity.
Position from an amazing engineer, a heroic rescue feat yesterday, and then the folks in this country, I guess egged on by one of our governors, who want to destroy the property of the guy who made that rocket go up and come back down.
First of all, like most people that are watching both sides of this, I would like to see the law upheld. Arson is a crime. You should go to jail for that. There's cameras all over those lots. The cars themselves have cameras that record what happens around them. And I think they should be persecuted relentlessly for what they're doing, because loss of property is one of the laws we support in our democracy. It doesn't matter what party you're on. And I thought, you know, most people would look at that and say, I'm not okay with it. Democrats own these cars, Republicans own these cars. These are criminals. They should go to jail, number one. Is he a hero? Well, apparently the government couldn't get them back with all the money they gave Boeing. My tax dollars went to Boeing. I didn't want to do that. They failed at the mission, and a private company happens to be founded by Elon Musk, was successful. That's a fact, too. I think we should keep going with Elon because he actually has executional skills while others don't. And if I were the CEO of Boeing, I would put my head in shame today because I could not deliver, and my bird is still on the ground, and his bird is flying back and forth. Also a fact. I think everybody should just get over it and realize what's really going on here. This guy is an American hero. He's an incredible entrepreneur, great executional skills, and everybody burns his cars. I'd like to see them in prison as terrorists.
Well, Dagan, let me go to you on that, because I think the domestic terrorism question is obviously been open. Attorney General Pam Bondi said, this is domestic terrorism. We're going to go after them for that. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. I mean, there are a number of different, and I'll defer to Jackie, but there are a number of different statutes that they can use. They can treat this as domestic terrorism, but I would also like to see the FBI and Justice Department track where the money is coming from to fund these attacks. And if they are coordinated in any way and funded from one or two large sources, you are potentially looking at RICO charges, so under racketeering, the racketeering statutes. And I know arson is under one of those. And when you look at federal charges, they are incredibly severe. And when you get sentenced to federal prison, you go away and you serve virtually the entire sentence. There is little leniency and there is no parole. In essence, you serve.
All right, time to get real for a minute, guys. Well, we've been getting real, but get personal, right? And I just felt like I wanted to share this with you, and I hope it resonates with people that get up and watch it. But, you know, a couple of years ago, I was in a really dark place, and I had suffered massive failures. I'd failed in my marriage. I'd failed in my business. I'd failed because I lost my job. Right. I was demoted because our company was downsizing, and they didn't have they didn't need more managers. Right. And I ended up taking a position and my old position, and I took it for about 3 weeks and just felt like this isn't the place where I need to be, and decided to go full time into real estate, which is what I was doing on the side for years, and had some success, and then I had some massive failures, and I just was at a place where I was just, it was dark, right? But sometime I snapped out of that. I don't want to go into that. That's a whole nother video. But even when I started to kind of get it together, I was still in a very dark place. And it wasn't until I had kind of a confrontation in November that kind of was the catalyst of, I guess, a radical mindset shift for me. And early December, I believe it was December 1st or December 2nd, I made the decision that I'm going to get back into the gym. And I'm not going to miss a day. And I'm going to become the person that doesn't miss a day. And when I did that, because I thought to myself, I've never really been consistent about anything in my life. And I've always known that I needed to be, and I always wanted to be. And so it wasn't so much about working out. It was a matter of like, I want to be consistent for once in my life. I want to do something consistent and be consistent and develop that skill. And the more I listen to things and the more I understand things, it's, I may not be the best at things. I may not be really good at anything. I may not be really good at this. But what I'm going to make up in skill, or what I'm going to lack in skill, I'm going to make up in consistency. I'm just going to show up every day, every week. And even if I'm late, right? Like the last episode on this show, I put up on Wednesday because I didn't even do it until Tuesday. So it was a fail. It was a fail because I didn't do it on my normal weekend. I didn't do it the day before. I didn't do it, and I procrastinated. But the thing is I didn't skip it. I did it, and I just did it late. And that's the thing that I want to kind of talk about is, yeah, did I get physically stronger? Obviously. Do I look better? Yes. Endorphins, all that good stuff. But the thing that really, really I'm proud of is that I made a promise to myself, and I'm keeping the promise every day. Right? And something that really struck me through this journey is, I heard someone say, if you don't keep promises to yourself, you can't keep promises to anybody else. And that really resonated with me because I would say I'm going to do X and I wouldn't do it. Or I'd say I would do X this time and then I wouldn't do it this time. I'd push it back. And let's be honest, like I still kind of do that. Like I was supposed to do this at a certain time and I didn't because I was doing something else, and I was like, I'll just give myself, some time. But I'm way more conscious of that now, where I realize when my alarm goes off, I get up, right? There might be a couple days where I just lay there for a second trying to collect my thoughts and I'm praying and then I get up, but I don't go back to sleep. I think I did that once in the last 3 months. And I definitely wasn't proud of that, but I still got up and I went to the gym and I was late, but I got up. And if you're struggling, if you're at a place where maybe you suffered some failure, maybe you had some setbacks, maybe some things out of your control, or maybe you did something that caused your failure like I did, and you just feel, so terrible and guilty and like a failure. And I just want to tell you, like, you're in this position right now, but going through this I'm telling you, on the other side of this, you will be better for it. And while you're in it right now, and there's a bunch of stuff that you caused or didn't cause that are now that is now out of your control, the one thing that you can always control is your reaction and your action. Your reaction and your action. And so if I were to talk to myself back then, I would ask myself very simply, what can I do to start repairing and start correcting the direction I'm going? And one of the big things that I do is I write. And for me, writing is a good release for me. It's a good creative thing for me, but it's very hard. It's very hard. So I thought, well, if I get up every morning, if I go to the gym and suffer for an hour to 2 hours every day, if I can do that, then I can sit and I can type. And that is my reason. That's my why. My why is I want to be a New York Times #1 best-selling author. My how is I have to write. My roadblock, obstacle is it's hard, and sometimes I don't want to. I'm not consistent. So my solution is I'm going to be consistent in the gym, which to me is harder. It's harder to wake up at 4. It's harder to drive. It's harder to not make any excuse not to go. It's hard to do the workout. It's hard to come home, get in the mood to write and sit down and work. So if I can do all of that other activity, by the time I come home, writing is a privilege. And so I don't know if this will help you, but it helped me. And it got me out of my depression. It got me out of my funk. It got me out of a lot of stuff. So I hope that blesses you. If it does, or if you have any thoughts, leave me a comment. And I really appreciate you guys. Thanks. All right, this is outro take 1. So there you have it, guys. Episode 15 is in the bag. Let's wrap this up. So we talked about the F-47 jet, the game changer or overhyped. You decide. Let me know. These Tesla attacks, do you agree with my take on Elon Musk, or do you just see him as some leftist that turned a righty, is now a crony for Donald Trump, and what he does doesn't matter? And workouts. And, what can you do to control your situation to get you past wherever you're dealing with? Have you ever pulled through a tough time? Let me know. I want your take, so drop me a comment. I read everyone. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Stay in the loop. And to get more real talk like this, more face-to-face, more one-on-one stuff, and more news, follow me on Instagram at the Kyle M Show, and catch me on X at Lux and Veritas. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Stay informed, stay motivated, and I'll see you next time on the Kyle McCullers Show. I'm out.